Imagine someone knocking at your door saying you no longer own your home.
A family sent an email to News 4 Investigates saying this came out of nowhere for them. Could this happen to you? Call for Action's Al Vaughters joins us tonight with more. Al?
Well, Don and Jackie, each year, Buffalo holds what's called an interim foreclosure sale, auctioning off hundreds, many times thousands of properties because of unpaid property taxes. But in some cases, more than half of those foreclosed properties only owe a couple of $100s in unpaid user fees.
And my chop saw down there, and this stuff has got a lot of tools in them.
A lifetime of memories for Bob and Lillian Rabatoy is packed up in these boxes. Now that city officials have sold their home out from under them, forcing the elderly couple to rely on their children and grandchildren to get them out. If you have to move, how tough is it going to be to?
Oh, it's going to be very tough. We're going to find a place in the middle of the month, in the middle of the winter.
My papers.
The Rabatoy's daughter, Dawn Gonzalez, and her husband bought the property 14 years ago.
Now I have to move my parents. Where am I supposed to put them? My mother has Parkinson's. My father's sick. They don't want to leave the house.
Then why do they have to leave? Unpaid garbage user fees. City collection officials hadn't received the user fee for 2 years, amounting to $443. So in October, officials auctioned off the house at the city's annual foreclosure sale, known as in-rem foreclosure.
In November, I received a letter saying that the property was sold for user fees. I notified my mortgage company. The mortgage company said they were going to take care of it.
But Dawn says the mortgage company didn't take care of it, and a New Jersey investor bought the house on Esser Avenue, posted a notice on the back door telling the Rabatoys to get out, and last month representatives for the new owner came by to personally bring the point home.
We own the place. I said, no, you don't. My daughter owns the place. Oh, got to see the upstairs. I want to see the upstairs. I want to rent it out right away. And I said, you ain't going nowhere.
It's just this. That's why
Dawn told us she had no idea the property was on the auction block until after it was sold. She says no notices received directly at the house on Esser Avenue or at Dawn's own home in Rochester. News 4 Investigates learned 4 years of county property taxes weren't paid either, although records show they were supposed to be paid under the mortgage agreement. The family's determined. They say they've put too much into the house, including 14 years of mortgage payments, to give up now. They say they almost have the house paid off.
I technically only owe a couple $1,000s. That's it. I'm going to give up the house for $400? You can't even rent an apartment for $400. Why would I give it up for $400?
City officials insist they send at least 15 delinquency notices to a homeowner before putting their property up for sale. In this case, city records show 38 letters were sent out, but only 7 letters went to the Gonzalez's addresses in Rochester and Buffalo.
A lot of people say, we never received the letter, we never received notice.
Keisha Williams is an attorney with the Western New York Law Center and says the Rabatoys are not alone. The Law Center has challenged the city of Buffalo's in-rem practices in court on behalf of hundreds of property owners.
There should be a policy towards preventing foreclosure. It's the best for the city, it's best for everyone, to have people living in their homes.
Housing advocates also strongly object to the city foreclosing and selling homes for delinquent user fees, which one study found comprised more than half of all Buffalo foreclosures in 2011. Williams believes Buffalo's foreclosure policy is adding to the city's blight.
Many of the people who lose their homes in the in-rem auctions, they're long-term residents of the city. They care about the city and they want to do the right thing.
The Rabatoys could lose their home over $400 in user fees, but Williams tells us Buffalo homeowners were losing their property for even less until 2 years ago, when the Western New York Law Center negotiated a deal with the city, setting a $200 minimum for foreclosure.
Someone losing their homes for $200, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's more than ridiculous.
Buffalo currently, housing court has many millions of dollars owed to the city court.
Lovejoy Councilman Richard Fontana tells us city lawmakers are looking to overhaul Buffalo's collections practices to help homeowners stay in their homes while the city would recover more of what's owed. One of the biggest issues is notifying the legal owners before their property goes into foreclosure.
So there's always ways that people can say they didn't get notice. Now, on the rare cases where someone really just doesn't get the mail or has a wrong address, those are the hardship cases, and that's where the courts have to intervene.
We asked a spokesman for Mayor Byron Brown about Buffalo's in-rem foreclosure practices. He referred us to the city's top attorney, Tim Ball, who declined our request for an on-camera interview. Instead, Ball emailed us a statement saying the city goes to great lengths to prevent foreclosure and negotiated over 1,300 court orders to stay foreclosures for homeowners just last year. As far as prior notice, Ball writes the city sends 5 times the number of legally required notices to homeowners facing foreclosure, but Ball conceded they're not required to show the notices were actually received. Ball adds, once the title is transferred, only the court can reverse the sale, meaning the Rabatoys have to sue the city to keep their home.
I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have my parents. Now you're telling me I have to take them from here?
This ain't the beautifulest house in the world, but it's ours.
And we can tell you the Gonzaleses have hired a lawyer, and a state judge has put the transfer of the Esser Avenue property on hold until later this month.
This is unbelievable, Al. So what about the man from New Jersey who bought the house in foreclosure? We talked to him.
Well, Don, we did talk to him briefly on the phone, and he told us he didn't know the house was occupied. It's actually a double. He was just looking for a bargain, and he says Buffalo has a lot of them.
Terrible.
You'll follow up on this
Oh,
and
yeah.
let us know what happens. Thank you, Al.